The foundations of one of Europe's most respected monarchies have been shaken to the core. What was once considered a model of stability, elegance, and quiet power has now become the epicenter of growing whispers, controversial revelations, and deeply emotional consequences. The Danish royal family, long admired for their unity, discretion, and modern approach to monarchy, is facing a storm that could reshape their future forever. The scandal, sudden and unforeseen, is not just a private matter. It has captivated the entire nation and triggered global interest, as millions of eyes turn to Denmark, asking, what truly lies beneath the glittering image of King Frederik and Queen Mary? At the heart of the royal storm are two individuals who, for over 2 decades, have embodied the ideals of a modern European monarchy. King Frederik X, the first male monarch of Denmark in half a century, and Queen Mary, the Australian-born commoner turned beloved queen, had built a narrative of romance, partnership, and responsibility. But this fairy tale image is now under siege. Rumors, reports, and an avalanche of speculation are flooding the press, and behind the closed doors of Amalienborg Palace, tension hangs heavy in the air. It all began with a series of carefully worded leaks, subtle at first, almost deniable. But soon, Danish tabloids, followed by international media, began reporting what many feared: a potential fracture at the heart of the monarchy. While the royal house remained silent, attempting to project calm, the silence only fueled the fire. Unnamed palace insiders hinted at long-standing strains, emotional distance, and a growing rift that could no longer be masked by public smiles and royal protocol. Observers noted a change in the couple's public appearances. Though still appearing together at major events, body language experts began to dissect every photograph, every glance, every gesture. Gone were the affectionate smiles, the instinctive touches that once defined Frederik and Mary's chemistry. In their place stood a more formal, restrained presence, carefully choreographed, but emotionally distant. For those who had followed the couple's journey from their 2004 wedding to Frederik's recent ascension to the throne, the difference was unmistakable. Then came the triggering event, the scandal that ignited a storm far beyond Danish borders. It involved allegations of inappropriate behavior and emotional betrayal, not necessarily from a legal standpoint, but from the perspective of public trust and royal integrity. Speculation ran wild. Had King Frederik, now burdened with the immense weight of kingship, grown emotionally distant from Queen Mary? Were there outside influences, romantic or political, that strained their bond? Was this a simple case of royal fatigue, or something far more serious? While no official statement confirmed the exact nature of the scandal, key royal watchers began connecting the dots. Certain appearances were quietly cancelled. Queen Mary was seen attending engagements solo, sometimes looking visibly strained. King Frederik, typically warm and animated, appeared solemn and distracted. During a high-profile royal tour, their lack of unity was evident, and reporters noted an unusual coldness between them, something never before seen in public. Behind palace doors, insiders revealed a deeply emotional crisis. Queen Mary, known for her resilience and strength, was reportedly devastated. Her identity, forged over 2 decades of adapting to royal life, was under threat. The woman who had once given up her home country, her private life, and much of her personal freedom for love, was now facing uncertainty at the very heart of her marriage and role. King Frederik, on the other hand, was reportedly torn between the weight of royal duty and the emotional turbulence within his household. Having just inherited the crown from his mother, Queen Margrethe II, Frederik found himself battling not only public scrutiny but private guilt. Some close to the royal circle suggested that he underestimated the emotional toll that kingship would place on his marriage, and that by the time he realized it, damage had already been done. Public reaction in Denmark was immediate and divided. Some expressed sympathy, recognizing the immense pressure that the royal couple was under. Others were less forgiving, accusing them of hypocrisy and failure to uphold the values they preached. Online forums exploded with theories, while newspapers walked a tightrope between revealing too much and respecting royal boundaries. Social media, ever relentless, added fuel to the fire. Hashtags like #RoyalCrisis and #SaveMary began trending. Supporters of Queen Mary posted old clips of her most heartfelt speeches, reminding the world of her commitment, her dignity, and her love for Denmark. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists went further, suggesting everything from secret affairs to covert attempts to remove Mary from the public eye in favor of a quieter, more traditional consort. As the scandal deepened, something unexpected happened. Queen Mary began to fight back, not through harsh words or legal action, but through grace and visibility. She increased her public appearances, delivering impassioned speeches on social causes close to her heart. She smiled more, stood taller, and made sure her presence was felt. Some said she was sending a message, not just to the public, but to the palace itself. She would not be sidelined, and she would not go quietly. At a charity gala, her emotional address about family, loyalty, and resilience brought the audience to tears. Many believed it was a veiled message about her own struggles. Dressed in a striking gown, her posture regal and unbreakable, Queen Mary reminded Denmark and the world that she was not merely a figurehead, but a queen with fire in her heart. King Frederik, too, began to adjust. His solo engagements increased, and in some of them, he candidly addressed the pressure of leadership, the pain of loss, and the human side of being king. At one point, during a public appearance at a military memorial, his voice cracked as he spoke of duty and sacrifice, words that resonated with more than just the soldiers present. It was clear that the man behind the crown was suffering, and the nation, for a moment, saw its king not as a distant ruler, but as a human being grappling with extraordinary pain. Whispers from inside the palace suggested that crisis talks had begun. Family members, including Queen Margrethe, reportedly played a mediating role. Despite having abdicated, Margrethe remained a powerful force behind the scenes, and it was believed that her firm yet loving presence was instrumental in calming internal tensions. She had ruled for over 5 decades and understood better than anyone the importance of image, legacy, and survival. Still, not everything could be fixed with tradition or counsel. The public needed more. They needed honesty, clarity, and hope. Calls grew louder for the royal house to release a statement, something, anything, that could clarify the swirling confusion. Finally, after weeks of silence, the royal couple released a brief but carefully crafted message. They acknowledged the difficulties, expressed gratitude for public support, and reaffirmed their commitment to their family and their country. It wasn't a confession, nor was it a denial. It was a diplomatic acknowledgement that behind the crowns and ceremonies, there were 2 people trying to hold on, to each other, to their roles, and to their integrity. And, in many ways, that quiet honesty was more powerful than any dramatic admission. As Denmark watches closely, the royal couple is slowly rebuilding, brick by emotional brick. There is no guarantee of a perfect ending, but there is hope. The scandal that threatened to destroy their image may, in the end, redefine it, not as flawless or untouched by drama, but as deeply human and resilient. And now, the question lingers in the minds of millions. Can King Frederik and Queen Mary overcome this crisis not just as monarchs, but as husband and wife, and emerge stronger on the other side? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe this royal couple can truly recover, or is this the beginning of a new chapter that will forever change the Danish monarchy? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful royal stories just like this.